is Monday, February 8th, 2010. This week we're talking about the aha moment. When was that moment that you went, aha, I can do this? What was that moment? Was it something special? Was it just a realization? Was it growth on your part? What led you to this point where you can finally lose weight and it's working? So I thought last week was really fun, reviewing how we did. I think we'll do that every couple of months just to keep ourselves on track for the rest of the year. Keep ourselves and keep you guys on track as much as possible. This week we're talking about that moment when you finally decided you could lose weight. What was that moment like? What were you thinking? What caused you to believe you could do it and to make you start doing it this time and have it work? I've talked about this before on my channel, and usually I say the aha moment was purely when I went from getting out of debt to then losing weight. There was a very short transition period of time. I paid off my debt for almost 3 years, and that last period of time I was so intense, like the last 6 months, let's say. When I got out of debt, it was May 8th, 2008. And I started YouTube like May 11th. Like that's when I really got serious about weight loss. And it was just like something about accomplishing that huge feat of getting out of debt, which had consumed my life, because at one point the debt had consumed my life and I crawled out of that, and eventually the debt repayment became a big part of who I was. And once I got out of that, it was like, okay, on to the next project. Honestly, it was like, I need a new project, and my weight is the one thing I've never been able to get control over. And before that, it was my money I had never been able to get control over, so I figured if I could tackle one, I could tackle the other. But that, I don't think, was so much of an aha moment as that was the driving push for me to start, because when I finally got out of debt, I just sort of felt like this momentum of accomplishing, and I just wanted to push it forward. But I think my aha moment was when I really understood the science, because I've always understood calorie counting, I've always understood why it worked, but I started to really do research. And in educating myself, I started to learn why water was so important and how it works with the kidneys and the liver and all of the metabolization of fat. And I started to learn why a deficit is important, why different exercises burn calories but burn fat differently. And I just started to really understand the science. And the more research I did, the more it seemed so simple. And I think that was really my like, oh my gosh, I could do this too. Because I started to really genuinely understand what it meant. She's crazy about this toy. If I'm not like moving this toy around, she's sitting there next to it, wiggling her tail and meowing. I've just finally realized I could do it because I understood the science. And so that was sort of the thing that launched me into weight loss. And I was successful from the get-go, just losing weight because I knew I was limiting my calories wisely, not harshly, because that's what I used to do. I used to limit my calories like down to 800, something super restriction. But when I learned that you can't do that because that actually prevents you from losing weight, then I started to understand, okay, we find a balance. I need to find this range, and I was eating 14 to 1600 at the time, given my weight. And on top of that, then I started to realize I need to hydrate myself, and I need to exercise. And I don't necessarily need to go to the gym and run for an hour and like force myself, which is everything I'd done before was super hard, intense workouts when I went to the gym. But I realized I can just walk. I can just go for a jog when I can jog and walk when I can't jog. And I could just, go bowling or go swimming or just move around. When I started to understand the science, I started to be able to apply that and make it something I could do. Make it something that was easy and that fit into my lifestyle and that made sense for who I was. And that has evolved several times as I've gone through this process, but it's always been based on the same science. This channel is all about education, and this is just coming to me now, but I mean, that's the whole thing. It's the more you can know, the more information you receive, and the more that you can then apply that to your life, the better off you'll be, because you really understand what you're doing. You're not just doing something because some book told you or some buddy's testimonial told you. You're actually doing it because you understand how it works. And then you can apply it to everything. If you understand how calories work, if you understand how exercise works, you can then eat whatever you feel like eating, and you can exercise however you feel like exercising and make it fit and lose weight that way. So that was my aha moment, I think, was really when I got into the education and started to realize this is something I can definitely do because I now understand it. So that's that. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow for Natalie. I hope you all have a great week, and this week ends with Valentine's Day, so I'll see you after all of that.